Hey Jeremy, how you doing? My name is Sean Cruz, and here in Eastern Pennsylvania, outside of Philadelphia to the north Philly area. So that gives you an idea where I'm from. Love your channel, appreciate it, and appreciate what you put out there. I've learned a ton from you. I got into barbecuing about 8-9 years ago now. Ended up buying a Traeger used from a guy and sort of fell into it and fell in love with it. So I really jumped into it. My first brisket, people loved it, but at the same time I look back and I was just like, oh my God, I didn't know anything. But anyway, I'd gotten out of it for a little while. I just wasn't doing briskets, probably because I didn't have anybody to feed during COVID. So I haven't really done a brisket since before COVID, but this is my first brisket, and I am going to, you said on your one video that you'd like to have some feedback on the John Lewis BBQ that he actually put out there, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I sent you a message, you didn't answer it because it was just in one of the comment section, which is fine. But basically, it was whether or not to use the Wagyu beef tallow on the John Lewis prepared brisket. But I am going to do it only because you swear by it. Now, I have never done. I actually got this and put it on some steaks and put it on some burgers and stuff like that, and it was fantastic. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do the beef tallow just like you said. I don't have any production crew or anybody filming me. I'm doing this with a tripod, so I'm just going to kind of shoot this. I'm going to go through it and I will unwrap my brisket. This is a choice. Got it from the supermarket. I went up to BJ's and I called. They said, yeah, we have them. Well, they only had flats. I wasn't about to do just a flat. But I actually do have, if this works out, I actually have a place, a local butcher that will cut it, and you tell him how many pounds you want. You want the flat, you want the point, you want the whole thing, you want 15. Literally, if I'm start smoking this on Friday or Saturday, the cow was alive on Monday. So, and I might do that. It depends if I get some feedback for you. We'll see how it goes. But I fly into Louisville a lot. I work for American Airlines. I'm a pilot. That's what I do. And I'm in there. When I found out you're in Louisville, I'm like, wow, maybe I'd run into you at some point. It'd be pretty cool. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and unwrap this sucker, and I'm going to start trimming it. And it's the first time I'm ever trimming according to the way Aaron Franklin and you trim your brisket. So this one's actually looks pretty good before it comes out of the package. So, but I'll get it out. We'll see how we do. And like I said, I got a remote control, and I'm just going to stop it and start. So talk to you. All right, Jeremy. You said I think it was you. Yeah, it was you that said be merciless with your cuts. Also, anything bigger than your thumb comes off. This is pretty good right here. This is actually a pretty thick cut because that's all thicker than my thumb. And I didn't get a piece like you did. You had taken a piece off the one brisket when you trimmed it. I just have a lot of little stuff. So I might fire up the kettle and smoke that in there. Because my tallow goes in. I don't know if I have enough room, but here we go. Down to a 1/4 inch, started getting some bald spots, so I slowed down right there. Made a cut so I know where to cut off the grain, and it looks pretty good. So next, we are going to season it. And the seasoning went with a 50-50 mix of pickle juice and mustard, just like it said. I mixed that up, and from there, we're going to go ahead and put this on, and I'm going to go ahead and take the cover off the Traeger and fire it up. Even though I know it's not a Franklin, it's not an offset, but hey, what can you do? Okay, all right, got smoker going, as you can tell, getting some smoke. This, I actually mixed it. I did the 8 parts coarse ground pepper, and then it was 3 Lowry's, 3 kosher. I know it was only 1 garlic. There might have been something, I can't remember anything else in there, but I mixed it up, and that's what I used. So I guess I just let this sit on there. I was going to tell you something. Yeah, normally I'm a rub guy. I've always just done rubs. A friend of mine who was a barbecuer and then stopped eating meat, I don't know why, but he used to just salt and pepper, and then he swore by it, and then I don't know what this meant. One time we both brought our ribs to a soccer event because we were coaches, and everybody raved about my ribs. I don't know if he took offense to that or not, but I've always been a rub guy. I actually have a coffee rub in there that I learned to use coffee from, oh God, the one guy that used to go head to head with Myron Mixon, the black guy. Lost a ton of weight. I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, but I followed him, and of course somewhere along the way I found you. So I'm gonna let this rub set up a little bit. I'm gonna flip this over. One of the things I did pick up on, and I did notice this about my pellet smokers, when I run a brisket, obviously you have the fire pot in the middle, and I do develop a little bit of, not burning, but you get a little bit of doneness on the bottom. So this is the first time I'm ever gonna do fat cap down, and I'm gonna see if it makes a difference. And this is the first time I've ever done a brisket that looked like this. It looks as close as I can get to you and Aaron without actually being there to do it with you. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, finish the process. I'm gonna get my Wagyu tallow, and then I actually think I'm gonna get a bigger pan and render those off in my kettle grill, just because I like turning it on, before getting the fire going in there. Anyway, we'll keep going and see you in the next little phase here. So that actually went better than I expected. I went ahead and put my Wagyu beef tallow, and I'm going to show you in a second because I'm going to give you a little tour of my facility here, so that you understand what I'm working with. But the looks good. I mean, as far as I'm trying to make it look sort of like that aerodynamic shape that Aaron talked about in his one video, that you basically do the exact same thing. And I set it up. There's a hot side and a cold side. This is an original Traeger. I just want to give you a heads up. This is when they were, I think, made in Oklahoma. But I found out, I bought it, like I said, I bought it used, and it just turned out to be an original because I had to get some parts for it. So it does have a hot side and a cold side, and like I said, you have that deflector in there, and I actually put a pie plate in there right over there to try and a little bit more insulation, but I didn't want to disrupt it too much. So I managed to get it in. It looks pretty good. I went ahead and put the Wagyu tallow on the right side, which is the hot side, and I put the brisket in the center, and the point is sitting on top of the where the fire pot is. So everything went pretty well. I'm actually a little nervous. I have my whole family coming over tomorrow. They always say you should never try something on people first, but the first time I made a brisket, I had no clue what I was doing, and it disappeared in a matter of minutes. We were having a big party, which turned into a party called Bacon Fest, and we ran that party for 3 or 4 years, and it turned out to just be an incredible event. That was the first time I did a brisket. So I'm going to turn this around, and let me give you a tour of the facility. All right, so let me back up here. This is my that is my outdoor kitchen. And I got my kettle grill, which I will be firing up here in a little minute. Obviously, there's Weber gas grill over there and the Traeger. This is my outdoor kitchen. Storage there, that holds a tank. And I built a turkey fryer in right here so that you can turn, it's obviously locked up, but if I ever want to do frying, I just open that up, and it's all set and ready to go, which is really cool. So here we are. The tallow is already liquefying. And there's my brisket. I went ahead, since you said the way the Traeger works, I went ahead and went fat cap down, and you can see the mustard, the remnants of the mustard and the pickle juice mixture, which I went 50-50. And I watched your video. I remember there was a section you cut out. I believe it to be that section. It doesn't look too bad. And this, like you said, anything bigger than your thumb, I measured it. The beef was higher than my thumb, so I let it go. So we'll see how this whole thing goes, and we'll keep you up to date. And that's about it for now. I'm looking forward to sending this video to you and getting some feedback. All right, man, I'm back. Just getting my kettle grill fired up so that I can render the trimmings. Like I said, there wasn't a big enough piece to cut off, and I was actually planning on using it to, I was going to smoke it and then put it in a crock pot with some the renderings. And I don't know, maybe I still will. I'll have to see. I'll trim it up a little bit, see if there's enough there. I'm going to test a recipe for a brisket po' boy. We do sandwiches here. I'm a Philly guy. I used to live in Philly, moved out to the burbs, but I'm a Philly guy. We do cheesesteaks, we do pork sandwiches. If you're ever in Philly, go to the Reading Terminal Market and get a Nick's pork sandwich. It's insane. But po' boy's brisket po' boy I worked on for the Army-Navy tailgate, and I'm telling you, this is something I've been working on and I'm super excited about. So I don't know if there's enough meat in there to do it, but I'm going up to West Point next week for Army Wake Forest, so we're going to take some up there too. So anyway, oh, and also I wanted to tell you in that video where you did the blind taste test, I wanted you to tell your wife, thank you for wearing the Cruises barbecue. That's my namesake, and am I related to them? Spelled K-R-E-U-Z. Yes and no. All the cruises go back to two guys who immigrated through Ellis Island. Paul and George were my great-great-grandfathers, and that they all separate from those two, I believe. So anyway, I saw that. I was like, cool, my dad's been there. I haven't been there yet. A bunch of my family members have been there. I just unfortunately haven't. I just figured at some point I would do an overnight there and I'd be able to stop. So anyway, we're rolling here. Brisket's on, Wagyu beef tallow's on, and I'm going to get the kettle grill fired up and start rendering this stuff down. So anyway, we'll see you in the next video. All right, so I got these trimmings all cut up. There looks like there's enough meat in there to actually maybe get a sandwich or two. We'll see after it cooks. But I went ahead and dumped the rest of the mustard coating on there, and I just rolled it around, and now I'm actually going to go ahead and season them. And I figured it'd be better to season them a little bit, let them render down and cook, and then if I get it to work, I feel like I need a little more meat for this, but if it does work, then I'll drop it in a crock pot and let it cook down so that it's all, you know, stringy for sandwiches. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. Obviously the brisket's in. I'm not going to run this the whole time, but I'll come out here throughout the night. I went through your video this morning and literally put the timelines in there of when I have to come out here. So I really am trying to replicate it and give you some good feedback. The only thing, like I said, is I am going to do the Wagyu beef tallow, and along with the John Lewis recipe. All right, see ya. All right, hey Jeremy, how you doing? Sean, I'm 3 hours in, actually 3.5 hours into the cook. I was going to do a video right at the 3 hour mark, but my son walked through the door, came home from college, which this is all for. We're having a big dinner. Anyway, I'm going to spin this around and I'll show you what we got going on and what I've done and where we are. Here we go. All right, first I had to make some adjustments to my kettle, but my beef tallow is rendering down, and the stuff that I'm going to use and try and make it into a po' boy, I don't know if it's going to work, but that's rendering down as well very nicely. And I got my started with my charcoal and switched over to cowboy lump, so that's coming along very nicely. And got my spray bottle, 50-50 cheap beer and vinegar. Here's the tallow. It's getting yellow. I'm gonna leave it in for about another hour, and this is coming along very nicely. At least it feels like it. And it looks like my little thing here, I put a pie plate under there to protect it, and that looks like that might be working out very well. So we're running about a temperature of 250. Plenty of pellets, down to 215 because I opened it, but otherwise looking good. There's my tools left over, and that's it for now. Hey Jeremy, how you doing? Sean, back into cook here, and just going to do a temperature probe. It's 10:30, just hit 10:30, and brisket's looking good. I'll show it to you right after this. But I just want to do a quick probe. I was going to get, well, that started going nicely. I was going to pick up a thermopen, but I have a lot of thermometers. I have some electronics, not a thermopen, but realized my wife probably got a little angry with me. So, looks like I got my eye grill here. I realize it's not a thermopen, but it looks like we're looking good, man. We're above 140, 44. Oh, we're looking good. We're looking real good. So, 46. So we're 47. So we should be getting right into that 160, 180 range in the next hour or so. So this is looking really good. Yeah, it's 150 now. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the probe, because I don't want it to get hot. And I am going to spray, and then I'll show you. All right. So that's done. We're spraying. I'll give you a shot of the tallow. The tallow looks good. I don't know if my brisket po' boy is going to work out. There was a lot of meat. The meat shrunk up, as you know. But who knows? Probably a lot more rendered fat. So anyway, let me give you a quick peek at this, and we'll keep moving. So here's my tallow, looking perfect right there. Got a nice fire going, and I switched over to lump charcoal, which I love, and this is the brisket. Looking pretty good. I got good bark, got good evaporation, I got great color, and that's starting to red. It's looking pretty good right there. So looking good. And then there's my Wagyu tallow, and I'm actually going to take that off. That looks like it's got a nice golden color to it. So we'll see you on the next one. All right. Hey, Jeremy, back with you, buddy. Just dropped the probe in. We're getting close to the 6-hour mark. This looks good. This is pressing nicely. It's still going in with some tension there. Boy, that's just, that fat's rendering right there. Ooh, the juices are running clear. This looks good. And I dropped my probe in. Looks like we're about to go over 160 here. Yeah, there we go. All right. So we are looking good. Color, bark. Look at this little, like, river running down here. I'm gonna spray again. But it feels, this right up here, this fat looks good. It's running clear. It's looking good. Looking good. Anyway, all right, 11:30 at night. Looks like I'll be wrapping in about a half hour, maybe an hour at the most. And I don't know about you, if you're a beer guy or 163 or a bourbon guy, but I'm more a bourbon guy than a beer guy, and I think it's time for a bourbon. I think I've earned it. All right, we'll see you in the next segment. All right, hey Jeremy, how you doing? So we're looking pretty good. 162. It's still climbing, and the brisket looks great. I think we're gonna go one more. I just sprayed it. I did one more spray. Still got some. The fat is rendering beautifully. I don't know if I can't see that because I'm doing it the opposite way. The probe is starting to go in really nicely, so I'm gonna go one more half-hour block, and I'm gonna wrap. We're at 162. I want to bring that temperature up just a little bit more, and then I'm gonna go ahead and wrap. And I think I'm just gonna wrap it right out here outside because it's super easy. And then I'm gonna go to sleep. I'll wake up in the middle of the night, just check everything, but then it'll be kind of on autopilot, set it and forget it. And but it's been pretty cool. I hope you get this video. It's been a lot of fun doing this, and I think what I'm gonna do is get to meet some of the family. I'm gonna try the brisket. Obviously, I'll have one of them videotape me, and I will get their response as well. Anyway, good. It's been fun today. It's been kind of a little adventure, but I'll circle back with you. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it. I'm not gonna do a video wrapping. I know you know how to wrap. I've learned more from wrapping. I've learned more about wrapping from you than anybody else. So I'll check back in the morning, okay? Talk to you, and then I'm we're gonna go ahead and drop it into a cooler, and then the next will be the cutting. So I'll sign off for now. I'll come back. I'm gonna wrap the sucker. Wagyu beef tallow. You get the light in there. Wagyu beef tallow, and then it'll go into the cooler tomorrow morning, and then off to Kelly's game, and then we got family pictures, and then it'll be brisket time. It's been great, man. I will talk to you tomorrow. All right, Jeremy, good morning. It's 6 in the morning here. Took the brisket out. A little high on the temperature. It was 205. I probably let it cook a little too long because I know you said 203, but it was 205, 206 when I got downstairs. This probe goes in like butter. I think it probably went a little bit too long on the cooker. Trying to let it cool right now, but it looks pretty good. I had one little piece rip off here, which I've never had that happen before. But this is the fat side, and this was also, this is the point, this was over the fire pot, which I had a piece of aluminum pan over the extra little pie pan to try and help it out. So anyway, it smells wonderful. I do believe it's probably going to cut super easily. It definitely feels like it maybe was in there a little bit too long. Temperature's starting to come down now. So I did probe it, and it was like 205, 206 when I got downstairs, and I'm like, okay, it needs to come off right away because you said about 203. So anyway, gonna rewrap, and then I'm gonna let it rest for 10 or 12 hours, and we'll see how it is. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing? Okay, this is something that really has me confused because I went ahead, and there's my cooler right here. I went ahead and followed the entire process exactly the way you said. And, you said, oh, if the temperature drops down, into the 140s or whatever, you can bring it back up. You're talking about resting for 10 hours. I am 1 hour about an hour and 15 minutes since I wrapped it. And we are sitting at 155 and 149. I have 2 probes in, and I'm really concerned because that dropped 30 degrees in an hour. So now I'm getting nervous, I gotta be honest with you, because I planned to rest this for 10 to 12 hours. And I thought, okay, so that's 10 to 12 hours. We're gonna eat at 5 o'clock. And this thing's sitting at 155. So we're leaving for my daughter's soccer game in, about a half hour, I guess. So I don't know what to do at this point. I just fired up the oven to 170 degrees, which I can put it in there. And I don't know, maybe it just drops initially and then it holds. But we'll see how we do over the next hour. But right now, right there it is right there. I'm a little nervous. So anyway, we'll keep you up to date. I don't know. I'm a little nervous right now, but out of the pit, everything went well in the pit. The Traeger seemed to do its thing, but we'll see. All right, talk to you soon. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing? Okay, I had to go with the oven option because the temperature was bottoming out. It was just dropping, and I don't know if it was the cooler, but anyway, I went 170 degrees in my lower oven. I can leave it in there all day, still wrapped in paper, and just put it into a sheet, no foil on top. My temperatures were I had 2 probes in, and both were already in the 140s. So anyway, I went to panic mode because I don't want, obviously at that rate, the rate it was dropping, it would have been room temperature. Maybe not room temperature, but I mean, trying to rest it for 10 hours. So I got to kind of crutch it along. So I don't know what the answer is, but I don't know. If you guys are maintaining temperature, I don't know if you're using a Yeti cooler or I don't know. It came off this morning came off at 200 degrees. You said to let it drop, which I did. I let it drop to 185 so that it wouldn't, you said it would just get mushy. But the temperature was just, I don't know, maybe it was the wrong cooler. Maybe I have to get a different cooler. I have no idea, but you never specified about, and nobody ever specified about coolers. But anyway, this is where I am. So talk to you soon. Hey Jeremy, how you doing? We are ready to cut it. So basically almost 24 hours later from when I started. I'm gonna unroll this. Like I told you earlier in the video, I had some challenges. So this is either gonna be really great or we're gonna get pizza. One or the other. So, and my family's all here watching this. So here we go. It's oily like Franklin, which I like, and it looks pretty, oh boy, this thing is falling apart. I'm gonna take a peek at it. Here we are. So I'm gonna bring this out here, and then, now it looks a lot like yours right now, but I can tell it's super soft. I'm gonna put that over there. So, here we go. So I left my cut, and looks good. That's definitely rendered, but I'm afraid it's just gonna all fall apart. Back up a little bit there. So, oh, it's like butter. So let's take a look at it. Good smoke ring, that's part of the flat. Decent smoke ring, I know you use the, so let's just do this. Let's just cut it and see how it turned out. Oh, it's like butter.
We getting pizza?
We're not getting pizza.
It's good.
Wow. It's a little bit, it's a little dry on the top. But this is the first time I ever did it upside down. So it's falling apart. It was definitely in a little too long. Yeah, it's a little bit dry on the top. This is a flat. So let me pull a piece of the point. Let's see, it's just falling apart. It was in, I think the temperature went too high.
You inherited that.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Oh man.
Me too. Yeah.
All right. That's money that side. But that's the point.
Yeah.
That is really good. The recipe's good.
Yeah. My father's hair was.
I think I let the temperature get too high. It's definitely too soft. I could probably pull it like a pork, but it's definitely a good, the Wagyu, whole different animal. The first time I ever did it upside down, and like I said, the flat is a little bit dry. Other than that, your feedback is do it the John Lewis way and put the Wagyu beef tallow. All right?
You still taking Eddie to church?
It's time to eat. I got a lot of people I got to feed, so. All right. Hey, Jeremy, Sean, coming to you. Here's just the final part of the video. So I'm coming out to cover up the Traeger. I got to go out to work tomorrow. So I just want to let you know that the flavor profile on the John Lewis barbecue was amazing. The rub, the process, what he did, it was absolutely one of the so my family was here. They said absolutely one of the best briskets I've ever done. So, and I did use the Wagyu beef tallow. I honestly think, and this is just a heads up, if you can see in here, see the upside down pie plate? For guys using a pellet smoker, especially a Traeger, fire pot is right here. I think I found a way to not burn the bottom of the brisket with a pellet smoker because I always would get a crust on the bottom, and this is the first time I didn't get it. Now, I did go meat side up, and I went fat side down, but then you saw that one piece that ripped out when I took the butcher paper when I tried to unwrap it. So there was still kind of a downside, and the fat didn't completely render. So I think from here on out, I am going to go back to fat cap up. And then I think what happened was the temperature may have gotten away from me. I may have inadvertently set it to 250 at some point. That may have been why it overcooked, because the temperature was definitely way above 203 when I got down here in the mornings. But as far as the smoke, you know, I started really trying to taste the smoke. I thought it was plenty smoky. The flavor profile was fantastic, and everybody raved about it. So competition, definitely not. It was definitely soft, could pull it more like pulled pork, quite frankly. But I was able to cut slices and serve everybody, but it definitely got away from me a little bit. The other part was the wrapping. Now, you had said in your video to let it the temperature dropped to 185 because if you wrapped it up at 203, then it would start to kill your bark a little bit. But I let it drop to 185. But then, like I said, I went to church, and when I got back, that was only an hour in the cooler. One of my temperature probes, one side of the brisket was already down to 149, and I was like, this can't happen. So I ended up taking it, putting it in this pan, and putting it in the oven at 170 degrees, and it basically kept it there all day. I don't know, maybe that's why it became too soft. I don't know. I got to work on it. But like I said, I've been on hiatus from brisket. I've never done this process, certainly never done the Wagyu. I was wrapping in butcher paper, and then doing my probing, but I was only resting for an hour or so. So all in all, the John Lewis wrap is fantastic. The Wagyu beef tallow changed it, but I need to work on a couple other parts of it. So there's your feedback on the John Lewis pickle juice and mustard with that, basic simple rub with the Lowry seasoned salt. The flavor profile was amazing. So anyway, maybe someday when I'm in Louisville, if there's some way I can reach out and look you up, I'd love to meet you. Love your channel, and I'm going to continue to watch your channel. But like I said, I'm a pellet smoker guy, and it kind of is what it is. So anyway, this has been a lot of fun. I really hope you do get the video and get a chance to look at it. And you had said, hey, reach out to me. And I thought, nothing, a comment is fun, but hey, I'm going to do a whole video. And that's what I did. And so this has been pretty cool. Anyway, I'll sign off for now. I have to go get my stuff ready, and I'm wheels up tomorrow at 8:40, I think, in the morning. So I do have to go to bed. But anyway, maybe we can meet someday. Anyway, Sean Cruz from Pennsylvania, signing off. Have a great night.